Oh, yes. I was looking up that word progeny. Yeah, has something to do with descendants. And I'm probably going to look at it again, but the case for bar associations, why they matter. Yes, Adrian B. Koch. Wouldn't be a relative of the Koches that are multi-billionaires. Poop. Why don't we call them and see what they're doing today? We were looking a little bit at that cashless society. Yes. Could you get me Koch Industries? Koch. Yes. And then everything they own, because I've had some problems with some billionaires. Yeah. Yeah. Now, it's nice that Adrian is kind of a bar association junkie. I myself have had some concerns about bar associations and the mandatory requirements of belonging to a bar association where you have to graduate from an ABA recognized school or you have to pass the bar and then belong to the bar association. Yes. Looks like lately in 2018, not everyone was agreeing with how bar associations were working, and much had been written about voluntary bar association efforts to shore up their finances. Could you get me all the members of the bar associations and their tax deductible receipts from all the institutions of religion where they had given their money? Could be I'm going to sue. Ouch. Any and all institutions where an attorney said, well, I tithe. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Now, I'm going to want to know why California decided to split their bar associations into two different. One year after the nation's largest bar became two entities, observers see positive change, and quite often when California does something, yes, a lot of the other states will want to do it too. So I just want to know all of those that were members of the Bar Association of California for approximately the last 70 years. And then how many of them joined the Lawyers Association? Undoubtedly adjustments. Yes. See, my concern is they have what's known as the attorney oath, where when you join the bar, you swear that you will support the laws of your respective states, state constitutions, and the United States. And then you decided, well, I'm going to be an ordained and start my own ministry. On the one side, you don't have to protect Congress's right to collect taxes. Yes, because I know how important ministry is to those that are lawyers. Could you get me every oath? Yes, that happens to be a lawyer that is also, yes, and ordained of every religious institution of the United States of America. See, Brent belongs to the Bar Association, probably the Washington State Bar Association, but he's also an ordained, and he swore an oath that he would support the laws of the state of Washington. Yes. See, I could sue him for violating his Bar Association membership, the attorney oath. Yep. And then if he practiced law as an attorney oath of admission in the Washington State Supreme Court, yes, could sue him for that. Now, it looks like, okay, there's the availability of suing the attorneys in California for their membership in two different bar associations. Oh, and then when I get to the ordained, every one of them that signed a tax deductible receipt that deprived Congress of the right to taxation that had knowledge, yes, of the state of Washington not supporting and defending their Constitution, yes, the state of Washington's attorney oaths not supporting and defending their Constitution, yes, and then the attorney's oaths that don't support the Constitution of their respective states. Now, effective January 1st of 2018, the functions of the California Bar were split into two separate organizations. One requires mandatory membership of every ordained religious person that can sign tax deductible receipts. that carries out the regulatory functions such as attorney discipline and admissions. And the other, the California Lawyers Association, that is voluntary and does everything else the state bar has historically done. Now, for all of you that are attorneys, yes, when I went looking for progeny, yes, my five sons, you have a lawsuit for violating your attorney oath, a lawsuit for violating your attorney oath of admission, yes, a lawsuit for violating your uh, signed and subscribed oath of admission to any judge or justice, yes, and then violating the obligations of being ordained and depriving Congress of their right to collect taxes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, there's quite a few lawsuits here that have been wanting to use the judicial system to file. Yes, and it seemed that every California attorney, yes, that had the availability of the authority of depriving Congress of their taxation is ultimately liable for anything that the religion does. Yes, yes, yes. Now I'm wanting to get those billions today, okay? So just give me all of those that were members, yeah, of the mandatory California Bar Association that also happen to be members of congregations. Now, there was this guy named Scalia, one of these Supreme Court justices. Yes, recently passed away, but he wrote a book about progeny. Yeah. And I think that the Supreme Court Justice of the United States, writing the brief, yes, making your case and the art of making, and could you give me all of the royalties of every book of every Supreme Court Justice in every state and everything you got paid to produce? Yes. That you did or did not pay income taxes on the income? Yes. That you did. Oh, look at the 21 years on the U.S. Supreme Court and Solomon Scalia and Brian A. Gardner. Yeah. No one accused Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia unable to express himself. Yeah. A collection of the Supreme Court of the United States. Yeah. Now, looks like making your case the art of presenting. Hang on just a second. Persuading judges. you know, um, I'm gonna want to know about this book. Yes. Why don't we all buy a copy so that his estate can pay income tax? Well, I'd like to participate. Yes. In the actual estates of every Supreme Court Justice of the United States that happens to be an attorney. Oh, yes. An oath of admission, elected or appointed oath of office. Poop. And I didn't want your charities getting the money. Could you get me the estates of every judge and justice of the United States where they left in their estate a large amount of assets that could be deducted off the estate taxes because of their want to protect the charitable good that they all did feel was so necessary for the United States. Now I'm going to name myself as a creditor in every Supreme Court justice. Now, definition of progeny, yes, descendants, children, offspring of animals or plants, outcome product. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have some descendants that happen to be my children. Yes. The five minors name. So I'm going to name myself as the charitable recipient of everything that you're going to give me as a lawsuit to the estate. Yes. Now, Scalia didn't die that long ago, and it's quite possible he did. No. Why do we call Elena Kagan the youngest member, or is it Gorsuch, or is it the new guy? Because my thought is, yes, as we go through these pictures together, that I'm thinking that you will not deduct off your estate taxes any liability that is available to lawsuit, yes, for your knowledge of refusing to enforce the laws of the United States. Now, Scalia's estate's going to be a little upset because I am suing him. And I know these charities that you said, oh, we have to support charities, we have to do it. I thought you had to support my rights as a citizen of the United States. Now look at all these sign here's. Yes, yes, yes. I'm thinking, oops, get me the estates of every judge and justice of the United States and all the charities that were managed by the ordained that could issue tax deductible receipts. My name's Paul Budnick. I'm going to include myself in your estates. Okay.